the 11th of September. My name is Alisa Tilsner and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, going live every Thursday morning if it will let me. So I'm finally in. Sorry to anyone who was waiting for me. It's only a minute or two late. You know, I try and refresh so that these things don't happen, and they still do happen. But anyway, so today we're going to play with some other new product. It was a complete unplanned purchase, let's put it that way. I was doing an order and I saw this one online. I was like, oh, where's that? I didn't see that. I thought it was an online exclusive, but I have actually found it in the catalog. So it goes to show how much I've been looking at the catalog, doesn't it? But also this turned up for me yesterday. So I thought, let's open it and have a quick look and see what it looks like. This is the Handmade and Heartfelt Kit. So let's swing the camera around. We'll have a look at this before I forget, and then we'll get stuck straight into the card. So hello, welcome to everyone who is coming in. Let's switch that camera around. Okay, so this is the Handmade and Heartfelt Kit, which has been released this month. It is in Australia, it is $56, and it is also being featured for our World Card Making Day event that Stampin' Up is hosting on the 4th of October. So the kit, the event is free to register and to join. If you want to craft along with Stampin' Up, then this is the kit that they will be using. You don't have to purchase it, but if you want to play along with them, then this is what you get. So you get a stamp set, an ink pad, which is the Secret C little Stampin' Spot, which is cute. Hopefully, I don't think my chat is working because I had to come in. So if anybody's watching, jump in and say hello so I can know whether the chat is working. So I need to find where the instructions are, but it makes, I believe it makes 10 cards. And then it also has this card holder. So I wonder if the instructions are in here. Nope, but this is like a 3D card holder, and it has different sections that you can put together and you slot together. It's actually really sturdy. So let me pull that open. So it's like a little caddy, and that's what it's going to look like. And then you'll put slots in there to make it and build it up, so you can put your envelopes and your cards and all that sort of stuff in there. And then these are the cards, so I'm sure the instructions are in this one here. Oh, thank you very much, Marilyn, for commenting. I was thinking for a second there that my comments weren't going to work. So in here we have, and these are really cute. We have some twine, and we have a Stampin' Block, so you always get one of them. We've got some dots, some embellishments, and some sequins, and I'm not going to pull them all out. I'm just looking for the instructions so that I can show you. I don't know that maybe there aren't any instructions so that you can create them together with Stampin' Up, but I'll go gently so that pieces don't fall out. But we've got envelopes that match. We've got some dimensionals, frames, card bases. So looks like there's 2 of each card bases. They are so cute. And labels, and at the back here it looks like we've got a whole heap of other stuff that are going to go on top of your cards to build them out. All die cut punch outs. These look great. I love the color scheme too. So, and a whole heap of, ooh, look at them. So I haven't found instructions in these ones, so maybe they're saving it for, oh, yes I do. I tell a lie. I found them. They're on here. Pays to turn everything over, doesn't it? Okay, so this is better. Oh, there's your little stamps so that you know what you've got. Hello, sunshine. Happy birthday. Thanks so much. Thinking of you. And then we've got the cards and the little card holder. Now you can see what I'm talking about. So 5 different cards that go with them. So that is the kit for this month. It was one of 2 kits, but like I said, if you want to play along on World Card Making Day with Stampin' Up, then go and register and you can purchase this kit. and craft along with them. So it looks fun. So let's pop that aside and get stuck into our card making. So I'm going to use a stamp set called Snowy Delights. So this is a bundle, and it is on page, if you are looking for it, it is on page 52 and page 53. So we'll go through and have a quick look at these. Everyone's quiet today. So Snowy Delights, sending you joy and many delights. This one I probably wouldn't use. A wintry wish for Snowy Delights, unless I'm sending it into friends overseas, with family and friends, and long peaceful nights. So you could stamp one in the middle and one on the outside, a warm hello and joy to the world. So there's a couple of sentiments that you could use. The dies are pretty cool. I've not played with them, and I've only opened them up first thing this morning. So you know me, what you get today is what you get. So they look pretty cool. And then the fun thing, which is what attracted me to it, because I love stencils. So this has actually got 4 buildable stencils to go with it. So I have picked out some colors, and I'm thinking of doing Balmy Blue for my light, then into Misty Moonlight, and then into Secret Sea. So that is what I thought I would try. But just to do a little test beforehand, I've got my blending brushes and I've got some scrap. So I'm just going to do a quick little color swatch just to make sure, because I want to go super light with these 2 and then bring in the Misty Moonlight, because there's 4 stencils. Bring in the Misty Moonlight. And then I will bring in the Secret Sea and just make sure that these colors do definitely, wow, check that out. So that is going to be my color palette, which I think is going to be pretty intense, but I think it'll work. I think it will work. Good morning, everyone. Oh, late breakfast of pancakes, bananas, and strawberries. Oh my goodness, you're making me jealous. I shouldn't have closed that one. I need it. I shouldn't close any of them because I need them. Just don't let me get messed up with my stenciling over here. And I'm going to use this one. Okay, so it is a big stamp set. It is a lovely big stamp set. So if you love snowflakes, I don't really mind, because traditionally, you know, well, Santa comes from the North Pole, so it'll be snowing there. So even though we have a warm winter, a warm winter, that's a really silly thing to say. Even though we have a warm Christmas, I don't mind snowflakes, because it's where Father Christmas comes from. Okay, so instead of stamping in black, I thought I might stamp in my Secret Sea. And I did already pop this on the block, and I did already rub my hand over it. So just to take off any manufacturing stuff. So let's get this stamped, and I'm thinking I should try and stamp it in the same direction as my stencils. Would be a smart move. So I think it goes roughly like that. So good morning, good morning. Oh, everyone's finding me. Yay. Kimberly says that it is almost bedtime for her, so she made chicken taco soup. Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, Leanne is over on Facebook, and she's asking if she can have some pancakes too, please. So, and now, honestly, my stomach is going to start rumbling because you've mentioned that. Now, I'm going to have to keep my ink pads in line because they are all quite dark. Sometimes it's not, and I haven't put my colours in there. That's a bit silly, isn't it? Okay, let's start with, I'm going to do, I've got 4. So I think I'm going to do 2 shades of Balmy Blue, a shade of Misty Moonlight, and then a shade with the Secret Sea. Now, you saw how intense that Secret Sea was when I did a little colour swatch. So I'm thinking that I'm not actually going to put any ink on it to start with. So I'll put them aside. Let's grab our Balmy Blue. You know, and I've got a little idea of what I've got in my head, but not a real good one. So how it's going to turn out is anyone's guess. Just popping a little bit of seal on the back of my card here, and I'm going to stick it to my glass mat. Hopefully I've put it down enough where you can still see it, and that way I think I'm going to be okay not sticking my stencil down. Okay, I'm not going to put any ink on my brush to start with because I did dunk it and to do my color swatch. So because I want this one to be light, and I'm going to go with a fairly loose touch as well. So, and I wanted to stamp this one first because I've not played with this one, and I didn't want to just it's easier to line up. So the first go that I use these stencils, I usually do it on a stamped image, just so that I can get my lining up placements done. Otherwise I've got to rely on the V's up there to keep everything together. Okay, I think that one's probably going to be light enough. Ooh, that's pretty. There's a little bit of detail in the middle here that you guys can't see, but where it's covering, there's a little bit of white that's still exposed. So that is number one. Number two is, it's a little bit hard to see, is this one here. So I don't actually know what these ones are going to turn out like. So, okay, so we can line these up. It's just a little bit easier to line up with that stamped image. Right, now I'm going to not dip my finger in there. I'm going to get a fairly decent coverage, and we're going to go quite dark with this balmy blue. I love stencils. It's such a great way to get some color down. And of course my favorite one is the Layers of Beauty one. I love it. All right, so next we have that going on. I wish I could lift it up to the screen and show you. I wonder if I can. Here, let's just twist it. So that's what I've got going on at the moment. So you can see that light and dark. I don't know how this color combo is going to turn out, just saying. And of course when it dries it'll be different as well. Okay, so next I'm going to bring in the Misty Moonlight. So, and this is what the stencil looks like for this one. So we're getting a little bit more detailed again. Make sure it's lined up fairly well. Okay, so I'm thinking that I might not dip to start with, because I can always just peel off a little bit, because I don't want it too dark. And I've got some of the Traditions of Christmas paper out, so I want it to tone in with that. So I'm just going to do a little bit, and then I'm just going to take it off, because you know, once it's on there, it's on there. So I'm just going to peel back the layer just so that I can see. Oh, wow. Okay, I do want to go darker, just saying, because it does look pretty. Oh, see my belly. Why is my belly rumbling at this time of the morning? That's terrible. Okay, so that's Misty Moonlight. I will bring this up to the screen. That looks pretty interesting. I also have to wipe that off. I'm going to bring this up to the screen because you need to be able to see what's each layer. So you can stop at number 3 if you want. This is the great thing about stencils, especially with a snowflake, because you can stop there if that's all you want to go to. Hey, Chris. Wet Sydney. Yeah, it's been drizzly here today too. It's not been yes, we do. We have a wing it Wednesday, not a try it Thursday. Good. I like that. A wing it. But apart from, you know, every oh, this is okay. So this is really different. Okay, so I should bring that up and show you. So we've just got fine points, but these are lining up completely differently. They're not actually on the stencil that I've already colored there on a different part of the snowflake. So this is going to be quite different. Okay, now, and this one is pretty intense. And because it's not going on the actual snowflake, I am going to start off very lightly because it is a totally different blue. As I say, go lightly, and that's not picking up very lightly. It's quite intense. So I hope it matches with my blues. Now, while I'm doing this, I'll let you know, for those of you who are in Australia, it is my birthday month and I'm having a big birthday promotion, and I have got 5 levels of rewards for everybody. So the first one is like, and it depends on your order amounts. So the first one is an entry into the Stampin' Summit that I'm part of next month. And then the second tier is a free video class, and third tier is a designer series sampler and cardstock sampler, and level 4 is all of that, because each level adds on to each other. You also get embellishments and ribbon samplers to go with your DSP and card base. And then the 5th tier is an entry to win a massive set of a massive big set of those alphabet dies. So everyone who reaches 5th level goes into the draw to win that. So have a look at that. That is really pretty. I'm going to try and come up a little bit closer. And my birthday reward system runs until the end of September. So I'm just getting off that glue that is on my the seal, and I'm just going to flip this over, and because there is a little bit of seal on the back of my card now, and if you rub that with your thumb, you can actually it'll bead off, and then it'll turn into like a little snail goober, a glue goober, and you can just pick that off and chuck it in the bin. So there we go. How cool is that? That looks super, super pretty. Okie dokie. So the next step then is to, of course, die cut that wherever my dies are. I'm going to put these on the floor because, actually I'll put them over there because they've got ink all over them. Okay, so now we're going to find out which of my dies. It's obviously one of these ones. Now, another little tip, if you haven't spotted this one yet, and I'm just going to do it super quick, is I don't, I keep all my dies in the packaging, and I keep them on here as well. So what I do is just do with this is just a fine liner, is I just run around, concentrating, sorry. I just run around the outside of the dies, and that way well, these ones are pretty simple because they just layer in with each other. But if you sometimes can't get the dies back into the places where they came from, which is really annoying. Okay, so is it the big one, or is it, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab my stamp and I'm going to line it up in these dies, and I'm going to figure out which die is going to cut it. Right, so it's that middle one. So I was going to pull the other one off first. Here. So it's the middle, the inside one that is going to cut this. Yep, there we go. So let's grab my big machine for this one. Yeah, I know, somebody, I don't know where that tip came from. It's not my idea. Somebody, it was a little while ago now. But I'm like, oh my gosh, that is such a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? So very helpful. These guys. Gee, I must be molting. My hair is everywhere. Okay, so let's cut this out. Line it up. Now that because it looks so pretty. All right. Please don't jump and skip around on me. And I've got another, there's another stamp set that has got snowflakes in it as well, and they're builder snowflakes. So I am really keen to try that too. I think they're in my room here. All right. I was a little bit skewy, but it'll do. All right. So now, what am I going to do for the card? I have got a little bit of an idea. Oh, excuse me, I have to stand up. Okay, so I have got my, oh man, my card base, which I just dropped on my stamp, which I didn't clean, and now I've got blue flecks. Thank you very much. Okay, so it is a very big image on my card front. Don't forget, my card fronts are 4 inches by 5 inches, and I do that because not only are our card bases different sizes in Australia and the US, but the envelopes are different sizes as well. So I make them this size, and then that will fit in all envelopes. So, you know, if you're following one of my tutorials and you're in the US, then they will fit in your envelopes. So what I was thinking is doing, this is some of the stripe. Yeah, can still work, I guess. This is some of the stripe paper from Traditions of Christmas stamp set, and I was going to layer these guys together and then use my snowflake on there. So let's get everything cut down to size to start with. And if you actually I'm gonna just switch my idea for a second. Let's cut this instead first. Okay, and I'm just popping it in my trimmer, and I'm just gonna cut it in half because I wanted to try the same technique that I used for the layers of beauty, where you cut it in half or you cut it into several pieces, and that way you can have your sentiment along there. So, which is now going to possibly change the way I do my card base, which I think it will. So what I'm going to do is just measure radio, and I can't remember what I was saying now. Something. Okay, so if you want the tutorial for this card that I am creating today, head on over to my website, which is shown on the screen at the bottom there, alisatilsner.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter. And this one is going out next week. So it'll have all the measurements that I've just cut, that I'm going to cut. Sometimes I change my measurements. It'll have everything that I've used, all of that sort of stuff, so that you can go and recreate your card. So I've got something going on like that. And you also get access to my freebie library. So in my freebie library at the moment, I think there is roughly, well, I know that there's over 100 tutorials. So they've been going back since 2022, I think. I've still got more. I'm halfway through 2024. So there is still, you know, several months worth of tutorials to add in there. So it will be quite the collection by the time I've got it all finished. So everything that I've done, and there's matching videos with them as well, so you don't have to go searching on YouTube for the videos. They're all embedded in the library. So I hope those who have got it already are enjoying it. All right, so I'm going to layer that like that, and then I might put that on the outside just so that I've got a bit more room. Pop you up there, pop you up there. And now I need a sentiment. So there are sentiments, sending you joy and many delights, which is probably a nice one. Winter wishes for snowy delights, well, maybe not for the South Pacific. Joy to the world down here, and a warm hello. So there is also a frame in the dies, where I can find it. So there's also a frame. Now these stamps are smaller on the front than they are on the inside. So I used to always go, oh yeah, that'll fit. And then I would actually look at the stamp set itself and go, oh no, wait, it won't fit. So, but that will just fit. So I could do Joy to the World down here, or I could do a long one that goes across, which sort of quite like, you guys know, I like my longer sentence. Or what I could do is, hang on, I've got another idea. You'll have to excuse me again. I need to get up, and because I've got piles and piles of stuff all over the floor with everything that I'm working on. I really like 'Tis the Season. This is from the Traditional Labels one, and there is a die set that goes with this that has got lots of frames and stuff on this one as well. But I think I'm just going to do 'Tis the Season. In my head before I started, I had thought about white embossing it, but because we've got such a heavy background going on here, I think that I will just stamp it on white and pop it across. And these are not the correct size either, so they're actually a little bit bigger. So let's grab that one. And what I sometimes like to do is go, yeah, that'll look good on there. It'll fit nicely. Throw it down on your mat or on your desktop so that it's not bendy. Pick it up with your block. Don't think it's bendy. I think I'll do Secret C, just because we've got Secret C on as our paper. Nice image. I really like this Secret C color. It's a nice alternative to using black. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to clean it. I'll clean it later. I've got another stamp set over here I need to clean anyway. Okay, close your eyes. Bringing in different stuff. And I also have to think about what embellishments I'm going to start to use as well. What am I going to do? Or rather than have embellishments, you could just colour it in Wink of Stella. That would be really pretty. Let's have a look. So there's plenty of opportunity to put little embellishments on there. You could go to town with your small rhinestones or anything like that, but I think even just Wink of Stella would be really pretty. So that's what I've got going on now, which I quite like. It's just, you know, it's not an over-the-top card, but it's still pretty cool. So let's start sticking it together. And you know what? Maybe I won't put any embellishments on, just to be, I don't know, different. I don't often make cards that don't have embellishments, but like I said, if you put the Wink of Stella on there, that might be quite enough of pizzazz to lend itself, especially if we mount them. Maybe I'll put a little bit more down there. Okie dokie, let's get that lined up. And I'm going to have to trim the bottom there. I will do that a little bit later. Just trim off. I've got a little bit of overhang, and I'm not going to use my scissors. I'm going to use my trimmer because I can't cut straight. All right, so let's get some dimensionals out and we'll pop these guys up. I've got my small ones here as well. And some for this side. And I should perhaps just put one on the edge there just to hold that as well. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that my placement is where I want them before I go and pop them all down. I could use the Snowy Delights stamp if you have friends or relatives who are into skiing. Oh, for birthday cards, what a great idea. And do you know what? My friend Pam, they go to the snow every winter. Her son is big into skiing. She doesn't ski, but her son definitely does. What a great idea. They have a mums and sons week and away. I think they've been doing it for years, which sounds pretty cool. All right, I'm going to turn my card because I don't want the top overhanging, but I don't want the two clashing here either. So excuse me if my head gets in. All right, and we'll pop this down the bottom here. So a little bit of seal across one end and then a couple of dimensionals in the other areas. Yeah, I'm definitely using Wink Stella, and then I think that will definitely, that'll be it then, because I think my Wink Stella is flowing quite nicely. The thing that you need to remember when you're doing Wink of Stella is that some of, oh, look at that, that just caught that edge. Some of the inks bleed a little bit. I know that the reds do, the dark purples do. Where is one? Wink of Stella. I'm hoping that the blues here won't, but I'm just going to do it real quick. No, we're all good. So you can choose to either do all of it or just parts of it. I'm just going to try and do it real quick because I do want to finish it and show you, but I don't want you to be going, oh my gosh, it's taking so long. I'll go back and tidy it up after. Yeah, Tassie gets snow. That's where I saw my first snow, down in Tasmania. Whoops, I'm bleeding a little bit down there in the middle. But otherwise, it's not too bad. I think it's the misty moonlight that's bleeding. Ooh, I don't know whether that's showing up, but it looks pretty good. And then you don't have to have embellishments because this is got more than enough sparkle in it. Do you know what would be really cool? I don't know if you had a Versamarker. This is going back. If you had a Versamarker pen, which I think we used to sell for a little bit a while ago, and then you had the old Dazzling Diamonds glitter. You could stick the Dazzling Diamonds glitter into, but this is of course just as good and probably quicker and a lot less messier. So there we go. Okay, you had snow on the weekend. Oh my gosh. There we go. There's our, I didn't do any of the little secret C bits. Like you could do the hearts and the dots as well, but I didn't do them. I just did the main snowflake, but very pretty. It's very pretty in real life. I'm going to go back and give it another coat just to give it a little bit of extra sparkle, but that one I quite like it. So oh hey Patsy, oh from London, England, welcome. So are you up at silly o'clock? How late is it for London? I know that it's either early hours of the morning or very late at night. So there we go. So there is my card for today. Like I said, if you want the full-on instructions for it in written format that you can print out and keep and recreate yourself, make sure you are on my mailing list and you'll get access to the full library as well. 2 a.m. See, I'm getting my time. My time zones were getting a little bit like skew-iff there for a while, but I knew that it was crazy o'clock for England. Yeah, so there we have it, and lots of other things. If I won't go back through them again, but you can go through and have a look at the replay if you want to see what I was chatting about in the middle. Hey Cherie, yeah, it's a gorgeous snowflake, so go back and watch the beginning if you're just joining me, and of course the replay will be available very shortly as well. So thank you very much for joining me today, and maybe we'll play with the other snowflake next week because that is super, super pretty as well. And I wasn't going to get it, but it's a buildable one and I didn't realize that. So and that's from the online exclusive, so we might play with that one next time. But I do love stencils, so I can see myself using this one quite a bit with so many different colors, so looking forward to this one. Okay, thanks very much, and we will catch you again next week. So bye.